Arsenal Fan TV. I've just run into Chris just before the game. Chris, I was having a laugh on Saturday. Actually, a lot of fans were saying to me on Saturday, it's a good job I didn't run into you after the game. Now, I mean, what was you thinking about the game on Saturday?
I think you can't look upon it, it's 90 minutes, you've got to look upon it in the bigger picture. And for Arsene Wenger to say that's a one-off, that's an accident, well, it isn't. I mean, our record against the top clubs in this country, that stat frightened the daylights out of me. 1 win in 5 years. And there are other games where we've let in goals in clusters, other than this season. Not only this season, we ain't got time. But I could reel off another 10 or 12 games where the same things happen. Not where we've been slaughtered.
What is it that, listen, going away to Chelsea's a hard game. They're a good team at home. Yeah, going away to Liverpool's a hard game. But it's the manner of the defeats. What is it that makes Arsenal? I mean, I don't see any other top clubs across Europe getting done like that on a regular. But why us? We're better than that.
Well, are we, Rob? Are we better than that?
To get beaten, well, not even the teams near the bottom are getting beaten 5s and 6s. Why is that?
It might be down to the way we're set up. It might be our tactics. It might be we're not set up properly. Are the players good enough? Are we falling into the manager's trap, or we think these players are better than what they are? Seriously, but the thing is.
We played Liverpool, for instance, 3 times this season, yeah? We played them here twice, we beat them twice. We go away, right, and we get beaten 5. We had a morale-boosting win the week before against Tottenham, right? And why? I can't put my finger on it.
It might be the fragile mental state of our team. Perhaps it's like that with our team. 1 minute things are good, 1 minute things are bad. And it only takes something to go bad and they just collapse in front of you.
So what needs to be done then? What we got to do to strengthen it up?
I'm not going to go through another. Because I'm bored talking about.
Is it the manager?
Not just the manager. Look, what man deserved that? It's his 1000th game. He's managed this club, and he's sitting there, and the whole world is watching that. So let's forget about being angry for a minute. Just think about how he felt. Think the humiliation of him sitting there watching that, because I felt humiliated watching it. I had my son in the pub watching it, crying, and I had to apologise on their behalf for that performance. So you think all around the world, in France, people that know Wenger are watching that. But let's forget about Wenger. When we get beat like that, it's not just Arsene Wenger who should be humiliated and ashamed. It's not just the players, it's the whole club. Is he getting the support that he needs? Are there people who have hid behind Arsene Wenger's coat for the last 6 years, letting him, I tell you what, you front it out, Arsene, you do it all. I mean,
there was a stat the other day, well, not a stat, it's what he said the other day. He said that basically he's been having to run the club and have to make a profit of £30 million a year, whilst he's up against clubs that are able to lose $150 million a year.
But then, if he's saying that, that's not what we've been told.
But basically, what he's saying there is my remit has been to make this profit. My remit has been to get in the Champions League. Right?
He deserves a lot of praise. I think I've had no hassle with Arsenal since we lost to Birmingham in 2010. Things have not been right. We ain't got time. All Arsenal fans, go back to the Birmingham game and just look at all the things that have happened right up to Saturday. It's not just about Wenger, it's the whole club needs to be looked at. And I don't know if anyone saw the wonderful interview with people go, we're going on about David Dean again. I don't care. Because if Stan Kroenke, 12 months before he took this club over, said, I want to buy Arsenal, and that said chairman at the time said, I'm not having this sort coming over here. I don't want this sort owning my club. 12 months later, what happens? He owns the club. So if you can do that for Kroenke, why is David Dean done so wrong that he's excluded from this club? I want to know. You know that wonderful interview you done with that Australian supporter? I've come 300 miles, blah, blah, blah. I want answers. I tell you, there's a question for someone. Tell me what David Dean has done so wrong that he's not allowed back in this club. We all hopefully want an answer. And you know the first thing I would say to Dean, I say, thank God, Dave, you come back. I want you to do a root and branch of this whole club. The medical team, the treatment of injuries, our inability to do transfers while we always muck it up, while we wait to the final day of the season. The whole club needs looking at, not just Arsene Wenger's management. Because
what's going on? I'll ask you this question. What's going to represent a good season? From where we are now, it was a humiliating defeat. Yeah. But from where we are now, what's going to represent a good season? What keeps?
Well, obviously, a win the FA Cup. I mean, I can't take another day out of Wembley being humiliated, and I'm taking my boy with me. And they dare cock that up. I'm telling you. And I'll tell you something else. Don't think, we're going to stroll into 4th place, because we ain't. We've got to start getting our acts of gear in the league as well. Because Everton, if you look at their coming fixtures, they're not that. They could take off 4th place. But I don't know what the answers were. We can't keep standing here having the same conversation, talking about the same things. I want answers. So coming from Australia, I come from Hertfordshire, and I pay £1,500 every June, including the extra £85 they're going to do me for the Bayern Munich here, of course. So if Arsenal were an energy company and they had to go in front of a parliamentary select committee, the government are really hot on energy companies at the moment. Can you imagine the Arsenal board sitting up? So let's have a look at this. You've won one game against the top clubs in the last 5 years. You're getting beaten. Your transfer policy's rubbish. Your treatment of injuries, and you're charging them an extra 3%.
Listen, leave me on a positive note.
No, we got to win the FA Cup, Rob. Because I can't take any more pain over here. And wouldn't it be great for Wenger? He's been humiliated Saturday.
I want to ask you one question on Wenger, because listen, that as well. There's been a big debate on that. If he doesn't win the FA Cup, is that it? Is it time up?
I'll tell you the answer to that. One thing about Wenger, he's a proud man. He will look at himself in the mirror and say to himself, I can't take this club any further. I think that's what he'd do. And
so you think he'd walk?
And he doesn't need to be slaughtered for that. That shows a bit of bravery, a bit of honesty. There's a few people in his club who perhaps could learn from that.
And what was what?
I mean? Yeah, and I'm not. You know who I mean.